Alright, for all you British viewers, problems with the Brexit deal. Apparently, Northern Ireland is indeed a part of the United Kingdom, and Southern Ireland is not and is part of the EU. If Britain leaves the EU, then Northern Ireland goes along with it, and the country is effectively split in half. Among other issues, it would seem that the deal is still not particularly favourable to the British Parliament, and as a result, she's obviously looking to leave the office along with some kind of legacy behind, being remembered as the woman who delivered Brexit. But as long as her deal remains as it is, they're just not going to okay it. And not if they're going to literally be splitting Ireland in half. And for those of you who are unfamiliar, although I'm sure you are, the situation in Ireland, Catholics blow up a Protestant church, Protestants blow up a Catholic church, there's fighting, there's pub brawling, it's a bloody mess. I mean, Belfast, don't even get me started. Bottom line is, that situation is just crazy, and I think Brexit would destroy Ireland as it is. Admittedly, the domino effect could potentially to destroy the evil despotic force that is the EU. I mean, just look what the EU has done to France, because those politicians do not truly represent their people at all. Or look at what it's done to Germany with all the insane immigration policies, where just people just pouring in. I mean, that's not the only evidence that the EU is evil and abuse of its people, not properly representing the fact that it's always lobbying for more and more power and financial trade deals. It's obvious by its actions that the EU is concerned with one thing, and one thing only: personal growth, becoming a global power. You know, the growth, the strength of globalism. You know, they want to become like a major power. I don't know how else to put it. I don't have the words. I'm not very articulate today, it would seem. Now, I suppose you could say all governments. Well, all governments want power, all governments want growth, and yeah, that's true. But I think the EU is just a little more ruthless about it than most these days. Just a little more ruthless and a little less caring. Now, the thing is, Theresa May is not likely to get her Brexit deal pushed before she's out of office. I think the most trustworthy, most reliable Brexiters that could get in a deal pushed might be either Nigel Farage or Boris Johnson. You guys would be in good hands with them, I think. Of course, that's just my opinion, because they tend to lean in a similar political direction to myself on global politics. You know, sort of a minimalist government, small government, possibly even full-on laissez-faire capitalism, which I tend to lean in that direction, as it's really the only way to prevent the only real effective way to prevent a tyrannical government from even being a thing. And again, the EU is tyrannical. It's only concerned with its own power. France is the best example, still. And I mean, do you really want to be ruled from Brussels? I mean, really? They're so far away from you. Like, they don't even have to have sympathy or a connection to your problems. They don't have to care about your problems. You know, sympathy is a mechanism in the brain. If you don't permit yourself to receive the necessary stimulation to cause that empathy mechanism to kick in, you know, you don't have to think about it, you don't have to see it, you don't have to look at it, then you don't have to care. You really want to be ruled by someone who's just that far out of reach, and therefore obviously doesn't care about you? I mean, really? I wouldn't. That would be a very uncomfortable situation. I would not prefer it, nor should you. Ultimately, though, I suppose it doesn't matter what I think. What matters is whether or not Brexit is a thing, and whether or not the domino effect situation that has been described would be real. Hard to say, but either way, I think Britain, for its own sake, needs to leave the EU and put an end to its own internal despotism before it's too late. Although, with that Ireland situation in tow, it is hard to say if Brexit's even going to be doable. You guys are in a real pickle. Honestly, you shouldn't have joined in the first place. You should have known what you were getting yourselves into. I suppose it's too late now. It may be that you've made your bed, you're just going to have to lie in it. In short, let's recap. Sure, if you leave, you might cause a domino effect that brings the whole thing down, but you split Ireland in half. Stay, and the Irish situation remains the way it is relatively stable, such as it is. Scotland is apparently feeling very underrepresented in either decision. They want to leave the United Kingdom. I think you should allow them to do so. But stay in the EU and suffer more despotism, but at least Ireland stays in place. Leave the EU and make a move toward more true democracy, but you basically cut Ireland in half. It's sort of a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation. I do not envy you, you British folks, not in the least. I don't envy you, and I definitely feel very sympathetic to your situation. And I wish I had an answer for you, but I don't. You're just gonna have to deal with this one yourself. I hope everything goes well for you folks.